Hey, Michelle Cedarberg here with the first of my monthly interviews with people that I'm interested in. And I have to introduce to you my friend and speaking colleague, Sam Demma. At 21 years of age, this entrepreneur, youth coach, and keynote speaker doesn't let his age define his drive or his credibility. His goal is to provide people of all ages with tools and strategies that they need to become the change makers in their schools, businesses, communities, and in the lives of those around them. You have to spend more time learning about this guy. He started a program when he was 17 called Pick Waste, which is a grassroots initiative that brings people together to pick up trash in their communities. He's still working on that program today, many years later. And in a few short years, his inspiring and entertaining presentations have reached thousands of students across Canada, and his high-performing student program has made a difference for young people in 6 countries around that world. I don't know if that number's higher now, Sam. He's delivered 2 TED Talks. He is the youngest professional member of the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. That's where I met him. And there's no limit to where small actions will take this big thinker. So I want to say, welcome, Sam. I'm thrilled to be chatting with you today.
Michelle, your energy is so infectious. I just want you to come with me to every talk and like do the intro.
I'll just be your introducer, right?
That'd be pretty cool.
Sam is pretty energetic too. If you guys haven't already figured it out, I'm a big fan of this young guy who is 30 years my junior. But I say small actions will take you to big thinking, because what do you talk about when you talk to people?
Yeah, the whole idea is something that came from my high school teacher, and it was that small, consistent actions can lead to a massive global change. And I know you embody that too as well.
I know.
Your book title, your subtitle, right?
Small is all steps to an energetic life.
Yeah, I was going to say that's crazy. And I think it's a philosophy that's been around for thousands of years. What makes it unique is the story that ties along with it, which you touched upon about pick waste and how one coffee cup at the Tim Hortons coffee cup led to filling up all these bags of garbage and volunteering with kids. So.
Which is absolutely amazing. And I could talk to Sam honestly for hours and hours, but today I want to talk with him about a really interesting challenge that he's given himself that's going to make all of you twitch. Now, I did say that Sam is 21 years old. Can you please tell my viewers what you are doing over the next year?
Yeah. So, you know how sometimes when you're working your corporate job and you need to just take a year off, you take a sabbatical, a work leave or whatever it might be. I decided I was going to do something similar, although I don't work a corporate job. And so I'd made the decision that I was going to take a year off social, and I name it the social sabbatical. And the reasons behind it, we could dive into them in this conversation. There's a couple of reasons behind it, but the overarching reason was that the idea of doing so caused me so much mental friction. And I think that anything that causes you a ton of mental friction is probably
something worth exploring. Like, just hold on to that thought for a minute, because I want to repeat what he just said. He's taking 1 year off of all social media. So no Instagram, no Facebook, no LinkedIn. Are you doing YouTube? That's not really social. He's doing emails. So this 21-year-old, like most 21-year-olds have this thing connected. It's you always know exactly where it is. And Sam has decided, no, I'm going to shut off from all of that. Now, you gave me he sent the email out, or he posted on his Instagram, and I saw the post, and I'm like, wow, because I can't imagine it. Can you imagine that? So I sent him an email and I said, so Sam, like, you're doing this thing. Why? And he sent me a long email. I want you to share one reason at a time. The first one you had said really intrigued me. So what was your number one reason for wanting to do this?
Yeah. So the first reason for taking the sabbatical, the social sabbatical, was due to business. So I did an audit of where all my impact and income has come from and been generated from. And
let's be clear, Sam is a self-employed motivational speaker and coach at the age of 21. So that's what he does. He's never had a real job, a corporate job. I've had one, but there you go. So now continue. Sorry to interrupt.
We have many similarities, including no jobs and high energy. I just need nice glasses and we're game.
So he did an audit of how he was using his time. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I asked myself, how many hours do I spend on average on social media, and how many speaking gigs or coaching opportunities have come directly from that time spent on the apps. And I found that on average, some days more hours than less, some days less than more. I spend 3 hours per day. So I asked myself, in the span of a whole year, how long is that? Did the math. 1,095 hours. Well, over 2 years, almost 2,100 hours. And in total, I had 2 speaking gigs. So it's like, okay,
So then you're kind of going, why?
yeah, it's like I can exchange that time for this, or it takes me on average 6 hours to read a book. I can read 182 books in 1 year, or almost 400 in 2 years. What's more valuable? And one of the books would be yours, right?
Yes.
I can read all your books like 100 times if I wanted to.
Sam did read the book. He was one of the few people who got a preview copy of my book, The Success Energy Equation: How to Regain Focus, Recharge Your Life, and Really Get Shit Done. And in that book, I talk a lot about device distraction. And, in getting shit done, it's all about shutting shit off, which is what Sam is doing. So you realize that if you do this, you're going to have endless amounts of time to drive your business forward, to drive your education forward, to just do better for yourself.
It's true. It's true. And I can become a true expert in what I want to learn and share with others, and be of way more value to others. Instead of just posting pics, I can read books and learn more things about the.
Well, let's talk about that posting pics, because one of the other things you said, the reason why you were doing this is because you wanted to kind of push that ego aside. Say more about that.
Reason 2, very flawless transition here. We're definitely 2 speakers. Reason 2 was to dismantle my ego. But essentially what that means is get rid of that piece of my brain that wants validation from others, that wants to compare myself to others, that wants to feel accepted by getting hundreds of likes and having everyone know how amazing I am. I'm 21 years old. I've used social media for multiple years, sometimes to a fault. I think I haven't used it as effective as I could have. Most of my posts are of service to others, but there are a dozen or so here and there that are all about, hey, look what I'm doing. I'm amazing, and that's not a bad thing or good thing. I just think it's not the best way to use the platform. And I want to get rid of that feeling to have to always validate myself and compare myself to
and
others.
what's interesting about that for me is that most people will use their social to post what they've been doing. I did it this past weekend. Yesterday I went mountain biking, I went golfing, I posted them both. I did very little about business. And I too kind of like it when people say, hey, it looks like you're having fun. Look at your life. Wow, that's amazing.
But I would even argue, like, that makes you human. My stuff was like all related to business. It was like, look how great I am, just spoke at the school. Look how great I am.
I do that too. Make no mistake. I just haven't been speaking that much lately.
I'm with you.
But here's the thing. I mean, and if you were to follow Sam, you can't do it until 2021, end of 2021 now. But you'd see that he's a very busy, active person in his business for his speaking for schools across North America and running his high performance student program. And I would say that you don't have ego. So, if when you go back to social, I say post it, let people know what you're doing, because that's part of, how people know what you're up to. But I will say this, how I tend to conduct myself is attraction rather than promotion. So I'd rather be out there doing good and let people kind of find me and see me, which I'm sensing is where you're at, than posting, say, hey, look at me, hire me, do this, hire. And maybe I should be better at promotion, but it doesn't feel authentic. Yeah. I'd rather just, as you are, suggesting, go out in the world, conduct your life, and attract the right people to you. Does that resonate with you?
It's true. And if someone's listening who gets all their business or friendships off social media, don't take this to an extreme and shut it down. Do your own social media audit. Figure out what's working for you, what's not, how you can optimize it. There's an amazing book that I just started reading as well that is just as great as yours, Michelle, called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. And he talks about, using social very minimally. And when you do use it to the best of its ability.
Which is a great point. And I give some points like that in my book, saying, it's not realistic for all of us to go a year off of social. I can't right now because I'm going to be promoting my book all through social. Yeah. And yet at the same time, I really took your challenge to heart and asked myself, like, how could I be using my time better? So, whether it's choosing to post very strategically or not have my phone near me on the weekends, what are some sort of small digital detoxes or mini weekly sabbaticals that you, my dear viewer, can take to lessen your
usage,
addiction, to it. Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything else that you want to share about why you said you wanted to do this? Or is that pretty much it?
The third reason.
Is that all?
I hope I'm attacking everyone else's like inner subconscious thoughts right now and making you feel really uncomfortable. The third reason was just to do an experiment. I thought it'd be really cool. Everyone right now is stuck at home using social media now more than ever. I thought it'd be really cool if I just zigged when everyone zagged and did the total opposite, documented the things, see what would happen in my life, and if I could share it with others to be of value.
Yeah, which is wonderful. I'm hoping at the end of it that you'll write a book about it or something like that. I'm just suggesting.
Yeah, I'll come out bald monk and I'll have like, infinite wisdom.
Well, if you're reading 6 books a month, is that what you said? 6 books a week, six books a month.
I'm trying to read 2 books a week. So
2 books a week.
Like 8 books a month. That'd be crazy.
Well, you're a prolific reader though, and that's something that you love. And so I admire that. And that's another thing that made me think 6 books, like 2 books a week. I'd like to get through 1 book a month. And so for my viewers, like I wanted to chat with Sam because I'm super impressed by this guy's energy and drive and the work that he's doing. And I'm also super like, just what the heck, taking a year off social. I wanted to share with you all what he shared with me about his reasons why, so that maybe that you would think a little bit more about how you use your time. And are there small takeaways from Sam's energetic mission that you could use for yourself? So, Sam, Sam has a wonderful program called the High Performing Student, and I'm going to get him to share it with you. First of all, what is the High Performing Student?
It's a program that helps people use different tools and strategies to eventually reach their goals and dreams and to develop some systems in their life.
And it's typically for what group?
It's geared towards high school students. Although, as we talked about earlier, we've had some other ages try it and also benefit. And when I say other ages, I don't mean older or younger. Just one 38-year-old guy named Brian gave it a shot. And we've had some younger kids aged like as young as age 10 give it a try, and they've had some great value as well.
Now, the beauty of this program right now is it's self-guided and it's super affordable. So if you have teenagers in your life that are in high school or just starting university, if you've got tweens that are driven and need something to dig their online schooling into, may I please recommend Sam Demma's The High Performing Student? And I am not even kidding. Super affordable. Tell them how much it is, Sam.
The reason I made it $19 was because I wanted any student, and student being anyone who wants to learn and grow. It's not just a kid in class, but I wanted any person to be able to afford it themselves, or if they couldn't, be able to ask their parents and say, hey, can I have $20 not to buy Subway or to go to McDonald's or to watch a movie, but to buy this program that's going to teach me how to create a vision and set goals and create weekly plans and all this geeky stuff that you and I would love talking about.
How many weeks is it?
7 weeks. You can, because it's self-paced though, you can work at it as long as you want. You can finish it all in 2-3 days, or you can do 1 hour once a week. That's what I would recommend.
Sam has pre-recorded these sessions in one of his pilots. And so he has videos of himself as engaging and energetic as you're seeing now, sharing his wisdom. And I'm telling you again, 21 years old, wise beyond his years, because he's read more books than I probably have in my lifetime, in his lifetime. So how can people find you, Sam? How can they learn more about you?
Not on social media.
No, not for a little while yet.
If you want to chat, I'm always open and happy to have a conversation. Send me an email at sam@samdemma.com. And that's really the only place to find me right now.
Well, and I'm going to keep giving plugs because we are in COVID times. We are both, Sam and I are both professional speakers and coaches. We are used to being in front of in-person audiences. That is not happening for the foreseeable future. So if you if your organization is looking for interesting and engaging talks about goal setting and success from a young leader, consider getting in touch with Sam at samdemma.com, because he, like me, has a home studio and has been providing these online sessions. And so, hey, you could have an event and have the young guy opening and have the older person, the more seasoned veteran, closing, and we could have a whole lot of fun.
I was going to say, if you're crazy enough to be on this list and have not already worked with Michelle, you better do that first, and then you can come find me.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So thank you for your time today, Sam. And for all my viewers, do think about what a social sabbatical could look like for you. If it's not a year, how long can you give yourself a break from your devices? Could it be a month? Could it be a week? Could it be every Sunday so you can focus on your family? Could it be every evening after 9 o'clock? Every single bit of time that we take away from our devices, I believe, helps our brains to be enriched and helps our quality of life to improve. Do you got any final thoughts on that, Sam?
Do something that gives you friction mentally. I think that's the biggest piece I could give. If it's not giving up social, do something else that you really don't want to do, because it'll make you grow as a person and a human being.
Everything good happens outside the comfort zone. That is one of my mantras.
Cool.
Thanks for your time today, Sam.
Thanks, Michelle. Keep rocking.